There are video games everywhere these days. Did you know that they have existed from the early 1970s, going back to the late 1940s and early 1950s during World War II? Yep. Known then as a cathode ray tube amusement device, the first video game to be patented in the United States was in 1948. Due to their size and cost, some of the first video games, like Space Wars and Two-Player Tennis, were never commercially available. Also, video games were made in labs back then and weren't playable to the public. But this all changed in 1972 when Ralph Baer came up with an idea to create the first commercially available video game system called Odyssey. Like many consoles today, you were able to play Odyssey on your TV. Other competitors who were developing consoles at the time were Ted Dabney and Noah Bushnell, who were developing the Atari console. The arcade game Pong, which was Atari's first significant game, was published in 1972. It was a big success and was hailed as the first video game to be financially successful. Then, in 1974, Atari made a Pong home version. The rivalry between Midway and Atari, another gaming company, had escalated by 1978. Taito, a Japanese business, had gotten an arcade game from Midway, which helped them build their reputation. The game's original name, Space Invaders, went on to become the second most popular arcade game of all time. Then, Atari released the arcade game Asteroids, which came in at number 6 on the list of best-selling arcade games. By the 1980s, arcade games had color, and this was also the year that another significant development in video games took place. Midway introduced Pac-Man, a video game developed by Namco of Japan, to the United States. Also, one thing to note, in just a year, Pac-Man arcade games made over $1 billion in quarters. Crazy, right? Then, in 1981, Nintendo established itself in the American video game industry with the introduction of Donkey Kong. It was the very first video game with a plot. Since I don't feel like sharing the full storyline, you can look it up in your free time. Frogger, Dragon's Lair, and other well-known arcade games from the early 1980s include. Likewise, Mario Brothers. The golden age of arcade games began in the mid-1990s, was ending, and the home gaming console was becoming more and more popular. It's 2022. We have come a long way from military game prototypes to now home consoles. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.